Hey, good evening, everyone. We're continuing with 3 minutes of Tehillim. We're up to Perek Ayin Tes, Psalm 79. This Perek is about the destruction, the tragic destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. There's really two sections. The first is the painful description of the Jewish people, of the Beis HaMikdash being destroyed by our enemies. And then the second is really a prayer, a tefillah for forgiveness and for Hashem to take vengeance upon our enemies. We have been saying this capital of Tehillim every Thursday, and it really is very much relevant, as we'll see in a moment. So the question, a very well-known Rashi, we've discussed this in the past during this series we started with 3 minutes of Tehillim, a very well-known Rashi, that Rashi asked the question, you may be wondering, why is this Perek called a Mizmor? Mizmor la'asaf, Elokim goyim benachal asecha, right? As the goyim entered into your nachal, your inheritance, timu es heichal kodshecha, they were metame your heichal, they made impure your sanctuary. So why is it called a mizmor? So Rashi says it's not a mizmor. It should be called a kina. It should be a lament. Why is it called a mizmor? So Rashi says that we are thinking HaKadosh Baruch Hu because he had a choice. He could have destroyed the Jewish people, but he chose to, so to speak, whatever this means, God's anger to be let out on Eitzim Va'avanim. He chose to take his anger out on stones and bricks, stones and wood, not on on his own children. So in a sense, we're recognizing that even within the destruction, there is mercy. That's a well-known Rashi, but I want to tell you about something else that's very fascinating. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of people killed and fallen soldiers and Yisomim. It's really hard to really fathom exactly what's happening in Eretz Yisrael, but just to get a sense, I think last week there were 56 new Yisomim. Then the number is raised now to 74. Just hard to comprehend. So something that I thought was relevant is that many refer to anyone who was killed, al kiddush Hashem, someone who was killed because they were Jewish, as Kedoshim. This is a tradition, we call them Kedoshim. Where does this come from? We call them holy ones. So it actually has source in this Rashi, in this Perek. So I mentioned that we're talking about the Jewish people having their temple destroyed. So in Pasuk Beis, in this Perek, it says that Bisar Chasidecha L'chaiso Aretz, that the flesh of the devout ones, the Chasidim, and they were given to the beasts of the earth. In other words, to the enemies. So the people that were in this time were, Rashi says, Halo Rishaim Hayu, weren't they evil? In other words, they deserved for the temple to be destroyed. So why are we calling them Chasidecha? Why are we calling them Hashem, your devout ones, your Chasidim? So Rashi answers that because they were punished or killed, in a sense, they were considered Chasidim, and that's what Rashi understands. And the Mishnah Halachas, or Menashe Klein, understands this to be the source for how someone who is targeted and killed for being Jewish, even if we're not talking about people who are shomer mitzvahs, and the religious Zionist community has experienced, unfortunately, so much loss. But we're talking about someone who is, even technically speaking, not observant. We call them Kedoshim. We call them Kedoshim because they were killed at Kiddush Hashem. And that Menashe Klein and others, the Maharil says this, that anyone who was killed at Kiddush Hashem is called a Kedoshim. And I think that there's that technical. Okay, there's a technical Rashi, and we have a source. But I think there's a certain level of when someone is moser nefesh, forgetting their own personal religious life internally, whatever they kept, but someone's moser nefesh for Klal Yisrael, someone fights for Klal Yisrael. That's such a what can we say about such a person? Of course, they are Kedoshim. So unfortunately, we've lost a lot of them, and they're holy souls that we should think about. And we're going to have a special, as we always every night, but we should have special kavanah in our Tehillim after davening. And I also just wanted to make an announcement that at 8 o'clock, I am starting a new series, a Jewish history series on religious Zionism, exploring it in different ways. So you're all welcome to join us. It'll be in this room at 8 p.m. tonight.